This is where the fun begins.
Woo! Okay, we're finally here. I'm excited.
I'm there. Yeah, get that energy.
I'm there too, just not quite there.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Star Wars review. Joined by
Caden, Wesley Emerson.
Taylor Scott Johnson.
Jonah Lawrence Morgan. Yeah.
And today we are going to be talking about Revenge of the Sith.
Woo!
So, what very little did we not like about this movie?
Padme, thank you. Bye.
What specifically about her for you?
Yeah, her death. That's the main thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, don't.
I was about to, I know you're
me and Christian talked about this earlier, is that, like, would you say she dies of a broken heart, quote unquote?
The exact quote in the movie is, for some odd reasons, we're losing her. She's lost the will to live.
But when I was a kid, I was just like, oh, she died because she couldn't breathe because she got choked and she couldn't breathe during childbirth.
Maybe that had
was
some
like,
sort of, and I know that's able to happen. Like, they could have just said, like, it was just a thing from childbirth, which, you know, it happens. But the reasoning they give in the movie is just lose the will to live, I think is...
Because she says you're breaking my heart, like a couple minutes earlier.
Although, you feel the emotion when she says that line. You feel that she's devastated.
I'll be honest, I don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
Well,
I don't hate it, but it's my least
could
favorite part
be
of the
better.
film.
Yeah, Taylor,
I hate
worst
you.
guy I've ever met.
I hate you.
For
I
a
hate
rare
you.
moment, we agreed on something in the sense of...
For the only time in this
like,
video they
I understand, like, I don't hate it. I think could have been done differently and probably better.
That's the main thing, because
But
I
I
don't
think
hate
it's
it.
okay.
I don't think it's terrible. It's just my least favorite part about this film.
Yeah.
When I watched it, I was like, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I guess.
Every time you're just left like,
But why though?
okay, or you know, or you could just, even then you could just say complications, like, or something like that, like nondescript. But
Also, there's some of the minor things, which I know you brought up when we got to this point. Those other Jedi from in the Palpatine scene.
When they go to arrest Palpatine, they all like die in 10 seconds. Besides Kit
four Jedi go there, including Mace Windu. Mace obviously lasts the longest.
And they all get stabbed within 5 seconds.
Two of them get stabbed like instantly. Like Palpatine
They
does
let
this,
it happen.
They just
Kid
let
Fisto
they just
just
stand there like
lagged. He
Yeah.
just
Kit Fisto was lagging. Yeah.
He just soloed everybody if he had right
Yeah.
Kit Fisto's ping was like 200.
also
Clone Wars Kid Fisto goes in there,
Would've-
bare hand,
would've-
no lightsaber, grabs Palpatine, smacks him around, does a little tentacle things and chokes him, bro. Clone Wars Kid Fisto is built different. That's not
original
Fisto.
trilogy never happens. Done
Yeah.
in scene.
Also,
That's-
one other like minor thing, but I think that just because this is so memeable, that kid, Master Skywalker. There's too many of them.
What are we going to do?
And I love that kid this is his only film role ever.
You can tell. You can
So he
really
just
tell.
he just got cast.
No,
and
he
just
disappeared.
Like, all right, I'm done.
No. They went on to some guy and this family on the street and just like, we're gonna borrow your kid for a few minutes.
I think this guy's probably rich just because of one line.
Probably. One of the most memeable lines.
Probably
ever.
no.
I don't know
probably
if he'd be
not.
getting royalties.
I want to believe that he's rich. I want to believe that he's rich and famous.
Here's the thing about him, though. Whenever I watch that, I always get chills.
It's sad.
Yeah.
But but the thing about because the line delivery, okay, maybe not
But
there,
people-
but the fear when he like jumps back, that's real.
And then people memed it.
Yeah.
Which I think is still kind of funny that like when he jumps back when they were filming the scene, Hayden Christensen shouted boo.
Yeah, screams
And
at
that's
a kid.
And that's what
He's
and
gonna
that's
act
what-
right.
I think that's what he
Yeah.
did. It was hilarious.
Because he doesn't have a line.
Because that's how he got
just
the
goes
kid to
that.
jump. You know.
And the kid's just standing there, and he goes, boo!
And so the
Screamed at him.
kid wasn't acting. He was like, that was a genuine reaction.
That's-
So
He's
that's
like, Anakin just yelled at me.
why?
You
Hey,
know.
why'd you yell at me?
Could
You
you?
can imagine when the camera stopped rolling, he immediately went to the kid like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I gotta kill this kid.
That actually might be all I have.
No, yeah, the only thing I had was how fast they die when they try to defeat Sidious.
Yeah, but that's a nitpick.
I would
Yeah,
say.
and the fact that Windu doesn't kill him when he has the chance. He takes like so long. He rears up and then he takes so long coming down that. You know,
Well, it's probably because he's like wants to enjoy it, I guess. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of something else because I feel like I need to have another one, but I legitimately can't think of
But do
one.
you need to have another one?
Because I'm like, oh, I feel like there's got to be some little small thing. I just can't think of anything.
Yeah. So moving on, I guess we can move on to what we like. We're gonna save the big one
Yeah.
for the very end.
Man.
So,
The big-
I mean,
Oh, okay. I'll stop.
So, I mean, to kind of start out, I think Hayden Christensen gives a great performance in this role. He has some line delivery, yes.
He plays two different characters.
He really does. He gives such a good performance in this movie compared to Attack. And he was fine in Attack, but he's just better here.
I think he came out like he's been in the off season of these movies. He's been going to acting class, just like, hey, so what's it mean to actually be an actor?
He also just looks more intimidating, which he had to for this movie. He looks
the
a lot
hairstyle.
The hair is a really good. Yeah, the hair is a really good choice, and he just because if he had looked different, it wouldn't have been as effective for when he's trying to look intimidating. Because in this movie, he does really look intimidating.
Yeah, and the like the dark robes.
The dark robes. Yeah, his robes get even darker.
That's kind of subtle though. It gets
darker. Progressively darker.
Because up to that point, he was the only Jedi to wear black robes.
Was he?
I believe so.
Pretty much.
The only other person that has like either kind of darker robes is Windu.
Oh, how old is he though in this? Because he still acts like a kid.
Anakin
was 19 in Attack.
Gotta be 19.
He was 19 in Attack. By this point, I'm going to assume he's
so like 23, 24.
I was going to say somewhere around there.
And I guess that's a nitpick for me. Because he's still acting like a baby. But I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care.
It makes for a good plot.
He's crying most of the trilogy.
I mean, dude's just like...
Here's the thing,
he goes through a lot of stuff, though.
If we want to look at it like, hey, you could make an argument that that's on purpose, in the sense of, despite like all this time and all these movies, Anakin still has not had a good father figure or parental figure to show him.
Because Obi-Wan's
his brother.
Yeah.
And Qui-Gon, who would have been a good father, dead.
But
his mom, dead.
And his only other father figure he has is evil.
Yeah.
So.
Palpatine's there. Palpatine's like, no,
you
you should be childish.
And that's
you
why
should be
he's
upset.
But it more explains why he's...
Mm-hmm.
Because especially when you look in the Jedi Council, it's like you would think, because of how Windu treats him, it just pushes him further away from the Jedi.
If Windu talked to me I'm freaking cut his head off way before.
Windu talks to him like a teacher.
I'd freaking Count Dooku that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like Windu is primarily the blame for that, just because he treats him...
He treats him consistent, and literally since the second he meets him, he's like, this kid's not it.
Another thing that this movie introduces, Grievous.
I love Grievous.
As Game Radar said, kind of wasted.
Kind of wasted. He literally... And I'm like, how can you... Yeah, and I said, how could you be wasted in the first movie?
Anyways, moving on.
Like, you want him, to continue to live and lead the Separatists? If he's alive, the war doesn't end. He has to die.
In this movie, he has some of the more quotable lines in this movie, and this movie's chock full of them.
The fine addition to my collection.
Yeah, and if you notice, this is like...
This is the most quotable movie I have ever watched. This movie has some of the most iconic lines all throughout. The scene when Grievous gives us one of the most quotable lines ever.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Let's just say this movie is like the very reason that Obi-Wan is the best character in all of Star Wars. I'm gonna say it.
I can fully understand.
We talked about him coming into his own in Attack of the Clones. He somehow does that again and then goes beyond. I am Obi-Wan Kenobi.
This movie is the main reason why I and all of us are so excited for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Also, jump back, that first fight with Dooku. The entire beginning of this film with the starships.
It's shorter than I remember it. Yeah. The Dooku fight's shorter than I remember it being.
Yeah.
But it pretty much turns out the same way, minus the ending, is Obi-Wan spends the entire fight getting his butt kicked, pretty much, and then Anakin has to fight him himself and gives him a run for his money, but this time, yeah.
That whole section is one of the stronger levels in Lego Star Wars. I give points for that, because just inspiring that's beauty.
Because the entire beginning of this movie is the scene with the starships.
That's such a good level.
The buzz droids, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Just
we had
everything.
throughout the
R4 straight up gets murdered.
Rips his freaking head off.
And then R2 fights them off.
And he's and one's right in front of him, and R2's like, how about no?
R2 is awesome in this movie too because again with the battle droids, whenever he's picked up by a super battle droid and zaps him, and then
He burns them
alive with oil. It's hilarious.
Like a clone can't. He killed what? Like
3 or 4.
Like
yeah.
clones like struggle
Die.
with one. You
I
know.
love that clones are so stupid. I just love it. It just makes for such entertaining content.
The droids.
Clones and droids.
Yeah.
They're all
This is the movie where
dumb.
droids become fully comedic.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Like around
Yeah.
this in Star Wars timeline, it was like around
'Cause we're
the beginning of the Clone Wars and this.
When
movie.
they're on the bridge with Grievous, you can hear them in the background saying "run."
Yeah.
You see them running off.
It's so
This
funny.
is the movie they become, and they take it even further in Clone Wars.
The scene with Dooku also gives us the line,
Do it.
Do it.
"Do it." So good.
I will say, do it is. I will say that's a little pet peeve of mine. Just because I'm
the way
like,
he says it.
because I'm like, the drama kind of lets out like this, like the intensity is kind of like, why did you say it like this?
He slips
Still
too
good.
much. He slips too much into the Palpatine, into the Sidious voice.
Yeah,
But I think,
which
I,
I
think
do like.
I think that's the
I
point.
guess that's the point because like
That's pretty cool.
He slips into the voice a little bit. The actor, I forgot the actor's name.
I do.
Nope.
Do it.
Do it.
Ian something. Ian McDiarmid.
Oh, sure, that sounds correct. But yeah, he slips into the Palpatine voice for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Padme's.
Oh, I was literally about to say that. I was like,
Padme herself, aside from her death, she's a good character in this movie.
hey, fellas,
Hey, fellas.
count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm married.
he is married. I will say, like, a lot of the like emotional parts of this movie, because I get emotional when I watch this. A lot of it is directly due to Natalie Portman's performance, and like I feel like there's
And John Williams.
and John Williams. I feel like
We'll talk about that.
Natalie Portman, John Williams, a handshake. It's just like I feel like
Handshake.
I feel like there's a little bit of like, oh, Natalie Portman, you know, kind of sucks, you know, like low key, and like some people that
She
like.
is.
Like, or like, what does she add? I think she adds. I think in the previous 2 movies, you could argue like, she doesn't add a whole lot.
I'd say this.
But
movie,
this one, I'd say she's a major.
This movie and the last scene of Attack of the Clones, with the arena scene, I'd say those. Yeah.
From that scene onwards is when like
She's
Padme
good.
became
I think
a
she's
great
really
character.
She's a big deal in this movie. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a big deal.
She's great.
She's a big deal, man.
freaking massive deal, dude.
Uh,
She's freaking huge.
I mean,
That's cool.
despite how quickly those Jedi do, that fight between Windu and Palpatine was
Pretty
a great.
sick.
I want to
Pretty
see.
sick.
I am the Senate.
Dude, the way he spins.
I will say
Pretty much.
I do appreciate though, because you can see it's a whole. The whole movie essentially is like a whole. What am I trying to think? It's an entire example of like falling from grace kind of thing, and just like, and you can see Anakin actively struggling and he says like, no, don't kill him, we need to keep him alive.
And then he says, I need him.
In his head, yeah, he's trying to find a way to be the good guy,
but
justify his selfish desire to keep this evil maniac
and then he gives up
murderer
and says,
alive.
I need him, cuts off.
Yeah, and I think it's like, it would be awesome to have Mace Windu Anakin fight, but I think it does. I think it betrays kind of what the movie's going for, because it doesn't boil down to, and I mean it does boil down to it in the end, but it's in this like at least the initial like fall. It's not big, a huge jump into it. It's one split-second decision
that
he
changes-
made, and
that
the
changes-
instant regret
That changes
that
the
you-
course over
yeah.
the next 20 years.
Yeah, and that you can just,
More than that.
he's saying, what have I done? You know, like,
he says, what have I done?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
I
have I
forgot about
done?
that.
And you just like, whoa, just like powerful,
so
like,
good.
and there's
And
no
then-
going
and
back.
Then, and then there's a switch that you can see
Yeah.
in Christian, because he goes from what have I done to I pledge myself to your teaching, and he's gone.
Order 66 also happens in this movie.
Execute Order 66.
Emotional.
Yeah.
Heart-
Cutting through
Except
a
for Kiadi Moody. Screw him. So
He's
when Order
like-
66 happens, I love that in this movie, Anakin like hesitates to cut off Dooku's head, but when Order 66 happens, Yoda like murders everyone.
Yeah.
Yoda cuts off those 2 guys' heads.
Like, whenever because I grew up on, you know, the prequels and Clone Wars a lot, and, you know, but yeah, and I never really, and you don't really see it that much in the originals either, you don't really see people with lightsabers just murder living people.
Yoda does it a lot in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
But like it's like a
It's
well
a little more
understood.
entertaining.
Yeah, it's an understood fact that if they weren't fighting droids, the Jedi would have no issue with just doing the same
Yeah,
cutting
because
things to
you
these
think
people.
about if the clones and droids switched, they'd be murdering.
Oh, they'd be slaughtered.
Because who knows how many droids they'd kill.
So and like it's still like every time I see a Jedi kill someone, like even if it's like a stormtrooper or like a First Order trooper, whatever, I'm like, whoa, okay, murder, but like that's just because they're droids in the first movie.
Like when Windu kills Jango Fett, it's
Yeah.
more impactful.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's very impactful.
Also, the fight between Yoda and Palpatine.
I love it.
So good.
Yoda talks. I was saying this earlier. Yoda talks a lot of
He
trash.
smack talks him.
Yoda talks so
In his little like language. It's not a language. It's just like
the dialogue.
old English type. It's not. Man,
I
I
think
don't
dialogue.
know.
Like a
Yeah, just
dialogue.
Yoda.
It's just Yoda talk. It's so good.
whenever I like that fight scene a lot too, but maybe for a different reason, because it's really like the first time that you see like, because you can tell Palpatine murders all these Jedi easily, but he still gets beat by Mace Windu.
He gets beat by Mace. Yeah.
But then it's like a one-on-one force fight between the head honchos, and you're like, okay,
Because
Yoda's got it in the bag. And you're like, oh no, he does not.
Because neither of them really, I would say, win.
Yeah.
Sidious somewhat, I guess, but like
It's more of a stalemate.
it ends with them like both
They
being
both get
took
knocked
out.
away,
It's
but
a draw.
Yoda gets knocked back further.
That's the thing about Yoda,
He's
though.
smaller.
I don't know if Yoda has like dealt with anything like that, and that's why it's like
That's why-
so crushing
that's
to
why- that's
him.
why he
He's
goes
like-
in
I was,
exile.
I was saying like first loss. Yeah, I gotta.
yeah, he's like,
I gotta
whoa.
process
He didn't know it was
this.
possible. for him to lose.
He's humbled.
Because he doesn't lose in Attack of the Clones, he's just distracted and has to save them. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is the first time he's ever lost.
Just straight up like, this guy
Is strong.
is strong as strong or stronger than me, and I didn't play it strategically, and I lost.
Because
And,
the first time, like in Attack of the Clones, when Dooku does the lightning, Yoda blocks it, no problem. When Palpatine does the lightning the first time, he
Sends him.
he sends Yoda flying into a wall.
Is there anything else before we get to like the end of this movie?
Let me think.
Like now the rings, the end of
All of Utapau, awesome.
Utapau is really good.
Utapau CGI holds up well in all of it.
Oh,
that freaking little ship like the car, whatever,
The greatest-
one
the
wheel
wheel.
he's in,
The big
is
wheel.
awesome. The animal that Obi-Wan's riding
Forgot.
still
So
looks good.
good.
It
Yeah,
still
it
looks
does look
good.
good.
It still holds up.
And then this plays into the Order 60. Oh, all the Order 66 like short scenes, emotional, get me every time.
Except Yeti Moon.
Yeah, except Key and the Moon.
Yeah.
And
like Kid and Mooney are just like, we don't care if you die.
Like,
but then Plo Koon, you're just like, no.
And then you can have the same. When Plo Koon died, I'm like, no, I forgot that it shows
Yeah,
Plo
you died.
Koon.
You died yourself.
it's like there's not even a chance he's alive.
And when you see Commander Cody, order the fire on Obi-Wan, you're like, oh, whatever. And then you get to know Cody in Clone Wars, you're like,
Dang.
It makes
Whoa.
it even worse.
yeah.
But the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan.
10 out of 10.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must.
You will try.
Divine.
Divine.
Perfection.
The
No.
best scene in Star Wars history.
One of the best
Ineffable.
scenes.
You want to disagree with me? You can try.
One of the best scenes in cinema.
It's cinema. That fight scene
You
was
forget,
incredible.
and then you forget how fast they're doing all the moves and stuff,
Yeah.
and then you realize,
So
oh wait, it's you and
good.
Hayden actually doing all this stuff.
they pretty much
Yeah.
they do pretty much
The music
most
too.
of their stuff.
Oh,
Oh, we gotta talk
Music.
music along with this.
let's do music first, and then we get into the action.
Okay.
The theme that plays the Obi-Wan versus Anakin theme that plays the entire time, it somehow is like sad but like so like,
Exhilarating.
intimidating at the same time.
For
I don't
sure.
I have to
know.
go to
It
the
gets
bathroom.
you like,
He'll be back.
No, it's sad because like the da-da-da-da, it's so sad but like
that
different
just
other
that
parts
just
of
hit me.
You-
Literally, just that.
just me doing that.
hit me.
John Williams putting the emotion into his music to like
John-
really make you feel like you're there is just legendary.
the cinema like just business would be no, the cinema business, movie business would be different without John Williams.
I'm gonna say this right here.
Ooh.
Duel of the Fates and Anakin versus Obi-Wan, I put them neck and neck. And I would say that Duel of the Fates is more iconic, but it's not. It's not trying to achieve the same mission.
And then I think Imperial March is like. I know. I'm gonna.
Here's my thought process.
Imperial March is iconic.
Duel of Fates, stay with me here. Stay with me.
I'm staying.
Duel of Fates is there to like. Okay, got it. Duel of Fates is there like, exhilarating, like, and the whole point is like suspenseful. What is going to happen to Anakin's future? In this Anakin versus Obi-Wan, we know Anakin's future. He's fulfilling it right now, and the whole movie is like, or the whole song is like. Kind of dread to it, but it's still like exhilarating because it's action and fight scene.
You
but
don't
it's,
you're just dreading what's about.
You're
to
like, because we know what happens.
Yeah.
But like, how is he gonna do it? And
But the fight scenes all throughout, like especially again with Anakin versus Obi-Wan, the fight scenes and the choreography is so good.
Yeah.
Some of the
two best lightsaber people. Just get together and fight.
It's so good. He's But yeah,
this is for sure the most chaotic one we've done.
Yeah,
but that's to be expected, I'd say, for this one.
I say so. But yeah, Anakin vs. Obi-Wan is the best scene in Star Wars history.
Just one of the best scenes ever.
That's why I want more Jedi fight scenes, man.
That's why I want the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
And that's gonna be insane. But
Jimmy Vader versus
But yeah, then you get to the and this scene also gives us more iconic lines like
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
I have the high ground.
You will try.
You will try. Anakin burning alive.
Dude, high ground is literally the name of my private Snapchat story.
Is it really?
And it's been that way for about a year or two.
That's awesome.
High ground.
It's just the best.
And then you also have afterwards the birth of Darth Vader, like with the actual
chills
and Luke.
Yeah, I was about to say. I want to talk about
because those two scenes are literally like are intermingled between each other.
That's what I love about when Padme. I mean, as mediocre as like not great as Padme's death scene is, the fact that it's so mirrored between like when the Vader suit is put on Anakin dies.
That's all.
Anakin and Padme die like in the same scene.
And he doesn't resurrect for a long time.
It's such a good parallel. I'm just like, that's not fair.
Like, George Lucas, king of parallel. The high ground is one of them, because a lot of people don't get that. They're like, why did he jump? Why did he jump up? What's so special about the high ground? It's a parallel, because that's what Obi-Wan did to Darth Maul.
If you look, the flip that Obi-Wan does in Phantom Menace is almost the exact same flip that Anakin does.
Which makes sense how Obi-Wan is able to counter that.
And the whole thing about it, too, is, like, Obi-Wan, and that's why he's saying, don't try it. Because he's like, I know exactly what you're about to do. I've done this, and it's not going to work, and I don't want to kill you. And that's the thing, too.
I haven't put that together before.
It highlights, like, Anakin's insane arrogance. Like, the Sith have hyped him up.
Yeah.
And he's like, you underestimate my power. In the sense of, like, yeah, you know what I'm going to do. I know you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to kill you with your move.
And I've never put that together. That's why he says don't try it. Is because he knows exactly what he's going to do.
But yeah, I like the parallel between how it's like Anakin is pretty much dying at the same time Padme is. Because when Vader is being born, it's pretty much the same time that Luke and Leia are. Because the movie ends with Luke and Leia going to their respective people with Owen Lars and Leia going with the Organas. This movie ends on such a somber but hopeful note. Which makes sense.
It's like getting ready for a new kind of.
And people forget the last shot of the movie is of Uncle Owen looking into the sun.
It's something they do in every single trilogy.
And then Rey finally brings a satisfying completion when she does it in her film. the parallels in Star Wars are just so awesome to be
I
able
will
to
murder you right now.
Thank God for Ray, man.
I'm so glad there was such a because you have the original trilogy ends like that with such a great ending, but they're like, oh, what happened before? Then we have Anakin and we have Uncle Owen doing his thing. Oh wow!
And it just
Then-
nice to go so beautifully with Ray.
Ray.
the cherry on top of Ray Skywalker. I can't even say it. I can't.
Don't say it.
Staring at the twin suns of Tatooine.
Caden, shut up! Oh, dang it!
Oh my gosh.
I pressed the wrong button.
Oh
Burning
man.
up.
Anyway. Alright. The ratings now.
Thank God for Ray.
I can't
Okay, we'll go. I mean, we'll probably go with the same score, but we'll go one at a time. Caden, you want to go first?
10.
Thank you. 10. Thanks.
10.
It's so good. It's just so good.
Now, okay, so what I'll say is, it is probably, would you say is it all of y'all's favorite Star Wars movie?
Easily.
I'd say so.
It's all my favorite Star Wars movie. Is it the best? I don't think so, but I think it's close. I think Empire is a better movie.
Yeah, Empire's a
but
better movie.
I just
I honestly think
you
it's
can
hard to
enjoy
watch
a
'cause-
movie. You can think a movie like to you is better because it's called opinion. You know,
Yeah.
like this movie is just so enjoyable and so
From a
nostalgic.
cinematic
Yes.
standpoint and like what it did for the series, Empire Strikes Back probably edges out a little bit.
It was
But am I
heaviest
gonna?
movie,
But I'm
Revenge
gonna probably
is-
pick Revenge of the Sith
Revenge of the
over
Sith
it
gives
to watch.
Empire a run for its money.
Yeah. Oh.
I think overall, I'm definitely still prefer Revenge because, I mean, both Revenge and Empire have like a couple of things that I'm iffy on, but overall, there's just more that I enjoyed in this film.
It also could be a little bit of nostalgia.
And
Maybe, but
Empire Strikes Back.
it's still an incredible film.
Empire Strikes Back is emotional in its own right. Just like, oh, Han Solo, it says, "I love you." I know.
But
gosh.
Revenge of the Sith is like
But Revenge of the Sith
gut-wrenching.
gets me.
Yeah.
like, it just
it's
gets me.
absolutely gut wrenching.
But yeah, we all agree 10 out of 10.
10.
Definitely all our favorite Star Wars movie.
If
Dame's
you-
radar is
If
nuts.
you think it's less than an 8, be free to drop a comment why you're wrong and an apology.
Yeah, explain that opinion to us. Run that one.
Because I'm interested.
I am interested to
You
see.
can have legitimate issues with this movie.
Just confess your sins in the comments.
Just explain why Ray is better.
From a casual observation of this movie, you could have a few problems with it.
Yeah.
But if you like actually care about like Star Wars, the universe,
If you care about
Star Wars, and you're like, oh, that one garbage.
That one, mid.
You don't like Star Wars.
Mid.
No.
Mid.
But we've now finished the prequel trilogy. On rewatch,
I'm
this
so
is my
sad.
so am I. On rewatch, this is my favorite of the trilogies.
I've
While I think the
I've
original,
converted Christian.
yeah, you have the original trilogy. I still think is objectively better,
But
but the prequels
Oh,
is
they're
now,
better movies,
The
yeah,
prequels
100%.
is my favorite trilogy.
The
now.
original
Prequels are so fun.
the original
so much
trilogies
fun.
are 100%, I think, better movies as a whole.
It's a celebration of what Star Wars
Prequels,
can be.
But to end it off, I think that like the prequels, they did such a good job of like literally tying in seamlessly with the original trilogy.
Oh.
There's no plot holes. There's no like it explains pretty much everything that you see in original trilogy.
And there's
so
just
well.
enough unanswered questions.
And there's
to
just
do stuff
enough
forever.
unanswered, and there's just enough time in there
To make a TV show.
to where you can make an Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show.
This
I'm gonna
galaxy's
change my
far, far
answer
away.
real quick. I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna put as in terms of what it's done for the universe. I'm putting Revenge of the Sith in front of Empire Strikes Back.
As a better movie.
I'm saying I'm judging this in terms of what it does for Star Wars as a
Okay.
whole.
I'm gonna agree with them.
Because Empire Strikes Back is so important you can't understate because it changed Star Wars from happy-go-lucky space-time adventure to
this is
serious saga.
Yeah, because
this is gonna happen.
In A New Hope, they had no idea what they were making.
But in
Empire,
Revenge of the Sith, though,
Exactly my point. I'll talk about that later.
Revenge of the Sith, though, I feel like it sets up so many other opportunities for other forms of Star Wars media, other films, other shows, and it has like Rebels less, but Clone Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi show, like all these shows.
And that's not even touching the lore.
It's dude, it's limitless because it's literally in a galaxy far, far away, a long, long time
You
ago.
can
So
do
there's
anything you want.
anything. You can do anything.
George Lucas.
George Lucas gives us rules to abide by,
Exactly.
but then he says specifically, "Go wild, guys."
I need him
know?
back. I need him back.
Yeah.
I need him back. I'm sorry.
Now, next time
Oh gosh.
we
We don't start too
okay. Next time is actually still, in my opinion, I still think it's a
love
good
it.
movie because next time we are doing Force Awakens.
I'm gonna crap on it.
This
I'll be
was-
honest.
This was the first Star Wars movie I ever saw in theaters. I saw the event showing with Logan. Hopefully he's gonna be here. He wants to try and be here for the sequels.
Logan, you suck.
Dude, I loved Force Awakens. Y'all can't tell me when you were sitting in that theater thinking to yourself, we're getting another Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
you weren't like peeing your pants like, oh my gosh.
But
Because
so we're starting the sequel trilogy. Force Awakens. Again, I'm excited. I'm excited to do this one. But
You won't be for long.
no, I'm really not gonna.
It
Be.
goes-
Game radar.
Y'all are gonna be
It
like,
goes
upon
south.
rewatch, this is great.
You watch Last Jedi. Christian's like, upon rewatch, this is my favorite movie of all
He's
time.
like, he goes, Rose is such an impactful
We
character.
will get there. We will get there.
Rose is in
We
there.
will hold up.
No,
She's a character?
No.
Anyways, so that's gonna do it for Revenge of the Sith. Let us if you think this film is anything below
Explain why you're wrong.
exactly. But that's gonna do it. Stay tuned for where we start the sequel trilogy. See you later, Whipheads.